So I know a big point of frustration for a lot of guys is that they're just not getting the attention that they want from women. Um, I was there, especially like when I was a younger guy. There were these girls that I was attracted to. Like I had this crush, few crushes, and they seemed more attracted to other people, like guys who just weren't like me. And it was very frustrating because it's like, well, I know I'm a good guy. I know, that I'm capable and whatnot, but they're just not giving me the light of day. I felt like invisible to them. And in order to get some attention, what I would do is I kind of chase them. I'd try to do things to go out of my way to, talk to them and, get their attention. But it was like no matter what I did, I wouldn't get that level of validation that some other guy would. And it was a huge, very frustrating thing until I figured out what I'm about to teach you in this video. Like the complete game changed. Like everything changes once you do this one thing. Basically, the first thing is you've got to realize that looks do matter. I know it may sound shallow. I know that not a lot of people like to hear it, but it's the truth. Looks do matter. The girl that you have a crush on, the people who you're attracted to right now, they look a certain way. And the girls or the people who you're not attracted to, they look a different way. And you kind of have this idea of what an ugly person looks like, what a, attractive person looks like. If you do not fit the ideal image of what a girl wants, you're not going to get that level of attention. And it's a thing that's very hard to come to grasp with because, especially in a lot of movies or whatever, it's kind of like this Hollywood has conditioned young guys to think that, hey, you can be this nerdy, weird looking guy or whatever, but, as long as you, are nice enough and you give her enough attention or whatever, eventually like she'll fall for you. And, they give you this idea when really that's just not the case in real life. Like that's the fantasy that like these guys want to believe in. But the truth is, if you're not attractive, if you don't fit what that woman wants, it's just not going to work. Like I remember there was this time, where there's two girls who I knew were like attracted to me. One of the girls, I found her like a lot more attractive than the other girl. She was, a little bit, not to be harsh, but she was like a little overweight. And the thing is, like, she was funny. She was interesting. She was better, like, having conversations with and all of that stuff. But I still was more attracted to the woman who was, more attractive, who actually, like, fit my idea of, like, what I wanted to see in a woman, like, physically. And I say this to say, like, looks really are important. Looks really do matter. And if you can look at some examples in your own life and realize like, hey, you're like this. Hey, girls are like this the same. You've got to use it to your advantage. So what does this mean? Pretty much what it means is you have to have a glow up. You have to improve your looks. You have to grow into whatever that ideal is. And what I recommend for a lot of guys is one, build muscle and build what's called an aesthetic physique. What an aesthetic physique is pretty much the majority of women are the most attracted to this type of physique. It's pretty much where you have like broad shoulders. And as you go down to the waistline, it kind of like creates this Dorito shape. It's building more muscle. It's being more muscular and having that specific type of physique because that is what gets the most attraction from a lot of women. I'm telling you from experience, after years of like working on building muscle, going to the gym consistently, eating right and whatever, and building more muscle, the more muscle you build and like if you stay in that aesthetic proportion, the more women are attracted to you, the more women notice you. And it's been a huge game changer. Big mistake a lot of guys try to do is they think, well, I'm fine the way I am. Like she should accept me for me or all this stuff. But it's like, you've got to look at reality for what it is. Like I know it hurts, but for me, example, I was a skinny guy. I was a skinny guy who looked very out of shape. My face was like really puffy and all that stuff. I was like a skinny fat kid and I wanted attraction of women, but I just couldn't get it. Like at least from the women who I was attracted to. And, it felt unfair. It sucked. But, the guys who were more muscular, the guys who were taller, had more confidence on all these things. Like they had the traits that were actually attractive to women. They had more success with women. I could have either chosen to say, hey, well, something's wrong with women. They should accept me for who I am and all that stuff, which ultimately would have gotten me nowhere. Or just accept, you know what, maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to shape myself and craft myself in a way that actually gets attraction from women. It's like, fishing or whatever, hunting. If you want a fish to, go on your hook so you can actually like catch them or whatever, you could, just like put nothing on there and be like, well, the fish should just like bite because, it should just do it. Like, just because, like, how stupid that sounds? Like, no, you put in front of the fish what the fish wants, what the fish is actually attracted to. Like, put a bug on there or put some, food on there that the fish is attracted to so you can actually catch it. It's such a simple thing, but a lot of guys just don't take the time to work on themselves so they actually can become the person who is attractive to these women so that they can actually get noticed. Build an aesthetic physique, go to the gym, do push-ups at home. Like if you don't have this workout equipment, just do something, start building muscle right now, do whatever you can, because I promise years down the line, you will thank yourself. And you don't even have to wait years if I'm being honest, because it's a progression thing. If right now you're at ground zero, say you're really overweight or you're really skinny like I was, and over time you're slowly building muscle, you're slowly like getting more in shape and whatever, building that ideal physique that women are the most attracted to. Over time your dating results are going to get better and better. Like you'll kind of level up in like the dating market, whereas you were getting no attention before, say, now as you're building more muscle, now as you're building more into that aesthetic physique, okay, now girls start noticing you a little bit more, they give you a little bit more attention. And you keep doing this, you keep up with it. Eventually you break through and you're at a point where you're completely different than you were before. If you want girls to notice you, you have to become the guy that is worth being noticed. Because in a lot of ways, girls are very similar to men in that when you see a very attractive woman, when you see like whatever your ideal is, when you see that, you're like, wow, I would really want to talk to her. I really would like to be with her, or like whatever is going into your mind. And when you see a girl who's not that attractive, you probably just don't even care. You might be like, it kind of just like goes over your head, whatever. You're not really thinking about her. Flip it over and like change sides. You have to become that person where immediately, like as she sees, like, she's like, wow, that guy looks interesting. That guy looks hot or whatever. I want to be with him. I want to know him. I want to talk to him, all those things. You've got to become that guy who's actually attracting her, not playing into the role of the simp where, these guys who haven't worked on themselves, who haven't built their body, whatever, they're overcompensating by like trying to, talk to them and like game them, whatever. And like sometimes that works. I'm not going to lie. Like some guys are able to sweet talk and, do all those things and it works for them. But I'm just telling you, it makes everything so much easier when you build that aesthetic physique, when you build muscles, build broad, have that physique where it's like broad shoulders, get slimmer at the waistline. You can like look up videos on this, like how to build an aesthetic physique. It's been super helpful. It's been a game changer. You need to do it if you want to get more attraction from women, not only right now, but far into the future, because I'm telling you, a lot of guys aren't willing to do this. A lot of guys aren't willing to take all the time in the gym and, build muscle and like do all the stuff because it's hard. It takes discipline. It takes hard work, but that is going to pay off for genuinely the rest of your life. So, take my advice as a person who's actually like gone through this transformation of being a really skinny, unattractive, skinny, fat guy to now having built a physique. And I'm still working on it, but the results that I've seen already are absolutely huge. So do that and you'll thank yourself. Peace out.